Welcome to episode 7 of Here's the Stitch. I feel like maybe I'm getting my feet under me with this. It seemed like last episode everybody really enjoyed with our interviews with all of our queer makers. So if you haven't had an opportunity to watch that, definitely go back. It is a very interview heavy episode. It's also a lot longer than our regular episodes, but the feedback we've gotten from it was really amazing. So changing gears, not a lot, but a little bit this month, we are chatting with Kacey. Kacey is a designer that I also met during Indie Untangled, the online year that we did all of that. So I actually met Kacey, Crystal, and Chase all at the same time. And Kacey and I have been talking about doing a project together since then. And it's just never really worked. So I'm excited to have Kacey with us today, and we're going to do a quick little interview. So, hi, Kacey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you? Where are you based out of?
I am in Coconut Creek, Florida, which is just outside of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. So it's summer.
Southern summer. Yeah, it's hot. It's always hot, but
It's
now
been summer since Valentine's Day?
Yeah, basically. Pretty much.
And will be till Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's the season. You got it.
Yep. I went to college in Savannah, so it's not Florida, but they have similar seasons.
Yes. Yes, you
So,
definitely understand.
yeah, I know what air conditioning feels like.
It's lovely.
Yes. And powerful. That was actually something. I was in Minnesota at the beginning of the month, and I grew up in Maine. I'm not used to powerful air conditioning. I didn't grow up with that. And I forgot how different air conditioning in the South is compared to air conditioning up north. It was warm in Minnesota, and everywhere it was warm. Like the air conditioner was like 78
Yeah,
was
and
where
struggling.
it was struggling for sure. So yeah, it was warm in Minnesota, but it was a good time.
Yeah. Good.
Um, awesome. So let's start off with you are launching a new pattern with us.
Yes.
When is it? August.
Bloomridge?
Yeah.
July, it came
It's
out.
out.
It is here.
It's been a long day.
It's here.
It
It
is.
exists.
It's here. It's here. It's here. So, yeah, we've got kits for that. You did one palette, and then we've got a couple of other palettes inspired by some of your test knitters. Some of your test knitters did some great color combos.
They really did. They knocked it out of the park with this one. They really did. Every single one is beautiful. That's the fun of it. Is there's no wrong color combination.
Yeah, when I was sending out the yarn to the test knitters, there were a couple of combos that I was like,
Mhm.
and then saw the finished shawl, and I was like, all right,
Yep.
you're
Yep.
good. So yeah, well, before we talk about Bloomridge, let's start with your knitting journey. How did you learn to knit? When did you learn to knit? Who taught you?
Yeah, so I learned to knit and crochet at about the same time when I was I want to say 4 or 5 years old. I can't remember exactly, but somewhere in that little pre-elementary school, right before elementary school, I learned how to knit and crochet. And I mostly crocheted throughout my childhood. My grandma taught me. I I say she taught me. She kind of showed me what to do, and then I just did it a lot on my own and figured it out, and then we crocheted together a lot. But it wasn't ever instructional. It was just kind of here's what you do, and then she just sent me off on my own. So I learned very young. I crocheted for a long time, and then in high school, a friend of mine said, "Oh, you knit?" And I said, "Well, I do. I'm crocheting, but I do knit." And she said, "Oh, I knit." And I said, "Oh, what?" And we decided to start a knitting club in our high school. And it was only the two of us and a teacher. We had to have a teacher. So it was the two of us and our humanities teacher, and we would sit there. And then another friend joined us. He didn't want to knit or crochet. He just wanted to hang out with us. So the four of us would meet up. And I was really bad at going to school. So we started meeting in the morning before school to force me to actually be there on time. And it worked. I went every day or whatever, every time. So anyway, I got back into knitting then. And since then, 20 plus years later, I have not had a project going with me everywhere, every day.
Nice.
Yeah. Everywhere.
Awesome. So how did you go from crochet to knitting to designing your own patterns?
My grandma never showed me what patterns were. We just made stuff up as we went. And with crochet, I feel like it's a little bit easier to do that. It's a little more freeform than knitting. So I always improvised what I was making. It was just like, here's the shape I need. This is the stitch pattern. Here we go. So I've always kind of just made stuff up as I go or played around with yarn a lot. And once I learned what patterns were, in I guess around high school also, I realized like that's what I want to do. I want to I want to tell people how to make the random things that I make. Like this is awesome. So I graduated high school, went to college, worked in retail to pay for college, ended up 20 years in retail up to store manager, knitted all the time, but never had time to like sit down and design anything or write anything up. Especially once I was a store manager, I was working like 80-hour work weeks, and it was just no time to do anything else. So in 2019, I got really unexpectedly laid off from my store manager job. And after some months of sadness, I realized I was not going to have another chance to try this thing that I've loved my whole life, that I've wanted to do forever. And so I just went to, I like Googled yarn stores and went to a local yarn store for the first time, and that were where I lived. And yeah, and I bought yarn and I designed a pattern, and that pattern is still my best-selling pattern. Shawl pattern, at least. Yeah, it's my top two for sure. Since it came out, it's been like one of my best sellers. So I started with a bang, and since then I realized I can do this. It's not, it's not as scary as it seems. And yeah, so since 2019, August of 2019, I released that pattern, and here I am, 6 years later.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I met you like at the very beginning of your pattern writing career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it took us 5 years to come back together and actually make a project happen. You and I see each other not frequently, but we see each other at festivals pretty regularly. And every time you come into the booth, and I'm like, let's do something. And you're like, let's do something. And then we have the same conversation the next time we see each other. So I'm really glad we actually got this to work this year. And I'm really excited about this pattern. I love what you did with this, with the little bit of direction I gave you.
Love it.
So a little behind the scenes of Queen City Yarn, we map out our entire year. Like we have started mapping out our entire year next year already. And then in November, we really kind of solidify it. And so you were somebody that I really wanted to work with. And so I got in touch with you early on that, so we could actually make it happen this time. And I really had a couple of places I thought might be a good fit for you in what we had laid out for our plans for the year. And for the month of July, we really wanted to focus on neutrals. We are a very color eccentric, fun company, but we do have a really great neutral palette intentionally to kind of balance out the fun and the bright and the colorful, because the two pair together beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
But I have come to the conclusion we've got to do a great job of also showing our customers that even if the bright, fun, colorful colors aren't their go-to, there is still room for them in the Queen City Yarn palette. So I asked you to do something neutral.
Mhm.
And I asked you for coming back to summer to do something that could be a project you stick in your purse when the southern air conditioning is set at 62 and you're freezing. And I think you just knocked it out of the park.
Thank you. I agree. I hate to say it, but it is that. It is the perfect squishy, comfy, easy to wear, dress it up, dress it down, throw it on over anything kind of pattern. And I think there's a room for in that oh, wow, I can't speak. There's a room in everyone's wardrobe for that. And that is really exciting to me. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, me too. So, talk a little bit about what the design process was for this. Did you know what you were going to do once I gave you that little bit of direction? So, talk about that.
Sure. I knew it was going to be a shawl. That's my categories are shawl or cowl. So that's always a good way to narrow things down by half. So I didn't really have any direction in mind. I just knew I wanted it to be three colors and I wanted them to all be used throughout the shawl. I didn't want it to be like color blocked. I didn't know necessarily stripes, but I knew that I wanted them to change frequently throughout. Um, and I love combining changing colors and steady textures. So the texture throughout the shawl is the same. You're just changing colors and repeating the same thing over and over again. And that's what gives it this, like, I don't know, that's what gives it its vibe. But it's really, really easy to make. It's not, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I I had some minis from you and I caked them up and I started swatching and playing and I didn't really like anything I was coming up with and I went on vacation and I said I'm going to take these with me and I'm going to be inspired when I'm somewhere else and it's going to work. And sure enough it did. I was sitting in a room by myself just swatching and playing and I came up with this little rectangle and I fell in love with it. I couldn't get enough of this texture, the Bloomridge texture, and I tried it the way it is. I tried it offset a little so you can I don't have the swatch unfortunately, but you can in front of me, but you can see in the swatch I tried it both ways. I liked it better one way and I knew that had to be the texture of the shawl. So once I developed that stitch pattern and color order and everything, I started knitting right away. I cast on, I have kind of two different ways I do shawls. I do them with an I-cord edge or without an I-cord edge. And without has a garter edge. So I started it with the garter edge and I loved it and it looked great. But I got about 2/3 of the way through and I said, no, it really needs my I-cord edges. It really does. And so I ripped the whole thing out and started over. And now it is exactly what I envisioned, which doesn't happen as often as people think, I think. Like, designers have ideas and execute them, but at least for me, it doesn't always start and end where I plan it to. So this is an example of something that really kind of came out of my brain and then happened and blocked perfectly and now it's like my favorite thing I own.
Nice. So it's a really simple or really short texture repeat,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just repeat it in different colors.
Exactly. Exactly. But it's written out in the pattern exactly how you
Right.
repeat it. And it also, I mean, it could definitely be a scrappy pattern too. It could be a minis. You guys have your petites. It could be, you could get a petite in every color and make a shawl out of that, which I think would
Mhm.
be super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very simple and straightforward. It's really easy to work. Its testers really enjoyed it. It has major like one more repeat vibes. It's really it's hard to put down, but and it just feels so good.
Yeah, especially with that 3 color repeat, you're like, I just want to get back to the pink. I just want to get back to the pink. I'll put it down when I get back to the pink. And then you do
Exactly.
that like 4 more times.
Exactly. Yep.
So,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
awesome. I love that. I haven't made it. We actually had one of our sample makers make it for us.
A friend
Um,
of mine, Beth.
yeah, Beth does so many samples for us.
I love
She's actually
that.
got another one already.
Good.
The doc mailed off to her last week.
Nice.
I think she's actually getting the yarn today. Beth is a great sample maker for us. So I'm excited to have our own. It's probably tucked away in all the sample boxes, so I'll have to go grab that before we do our here's the stitch with everybody. But yeah, it's everybody seemed to work it up really quickly too.
It's surprisingly quick for a shawl that's about 240 grams. It really flies off the needles. I don't know how. I mean, I made mine in less than a month for sure, 3 weeks or so. Once I restarted and went on with it, but yeah, I people tend to fly through my patterns because they're kind of rhythmic and bouncy and easy
Mhm.
and mindless TV. So you're watching TV and you're just going, and all of a sudden you've knit, you know, a half a shawl.
Yeah, those are my favorite kind of patterns. The really simple, rhythmic. That's partly why I love brioche. Like, there's something so rhythmic about brioche. I always try and talk people into brioche. I'm like, you love it when you get into it. It's so good. Um, but yeah, I love patterns like this that look much harder than they are.
Yeah, it
That's kind of
looks
like the secret.
complicated. Yeah, it's one. It looks like it's almost color work, but it's just one color per row, and yeah, nothing fancy.
Yeah.
Simple stitches, and yeah,
Once you memorize your increase or your decrease or whatever, you're off to the races. Get to the next
exactly,
pink row.
exactly.
Awesome. Cool. Well, what else are you working on? You got anything secret in the
I
works you can show us before we wrap up?
do. I actually have two really quick little things. One of them we're going to be really excited about because I cast on a Bloomridge cowl. I don't know if you can
Ooh.
see that. Oops, I can't see what I'm doing. But I took the stitch pattern and I made it in a cowl. So we'll see. I'm doing it with scrappy minis right now, but we'll see how that goes. And then I also have a shawl that I'm working on, which is called If You Know, You Know, or IYKYK. And it's in my yarn, Kacey Knits yarn. Um,
Mm.
and it's just an all over texture, really juicy. Similar techniques to Bloomridge, actually. It was kind of inspired by some of the stitch pattern, but it's a boomerang shawl, so it'll be nice and dramatic with the point in the front. And yeah, this is what I'm feverishly working on right now. This is my summer knitting.
There you go. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you.
Well, I'm excited to see what else you have coming up. And um, we need to get something in the works for next year. For sure.
Definitely, we do.
For sure. All right, you ready for the lightning round?
Oh boy, yes I am. Let's do
Have
it.
you read the questions?
I have read the questions, but I'm still
Okay.
like, I don't know, I'm on the fence about some of them. So we'll see what happens in the lightning round.
All right, cats or dogs?
Dogs for sure.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. 1 cup a day, but coffee. It's got to be coffee.
Okay. Sweet or savory?
I like them together, but if I had to choose, I would choose sweet.
I think Crystal also said together.
It's a good combo. Kettle corn or like samosas with chutney. Like, come on.
Metal or bamboo needles?
Metal all the way.
Yeah?
Chowgu, red lace, always. That's it. I start bamboo from my childhood until my adulthood, and then I discovered Chowgu, and now I'm so spoiled I can't go back. I have like hundreds of fixed needles now, and interchangeables, and it's bad. It's bad. I love them.
What is your least favorite stitch technique?
I would have to say overall, my least favorite thing, honestly, is seaming. I do not like I'm not good at it, and that's probably one of the reasons I don't like it. But it just feels it's so tedious, it's so slow, and once I'm done with the knitting, like I want to be done with the thing. Like it's done. I don't I get the point of seaming, and I understand that it serves a purpose and it gives structure and all these things that are wonderful. But I'll take my top-down circular yoke seamless sweaters any day of the week.
There you go. I have also decided that rounded yoke sweaters are my jam.
They're the for my proportions and body, they really I have slopey, narrow shoulders, and so the slight graded, like it just fits my body really nicely. And I
Yeah.
understand they're not for everyone, but I give me them all day long.
Yeah. You and I have similar upper bodies, and yeah, for me, a raglan just doesn't work.
No, me either. The seams never sit in the right place for
Yep.
me, and there's always a lot of fabric right in the front armpit area.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am currently working on a raglan sweater that is a combination raglan.
I've heard of this mystery.
And then I'm going to try putting bust darts in it
Ooh, that's a good idea. Let me know
to
how that
see
goes.
if that helps.
Yeah, that's a good
I'll keep
call.
you posted.
I have yet to do
Um,
bust darts, so
hmm?
yeah, I've not done bust darts, so I'd like to hear how that goes.
I have never done them either.
Okay.
But and I don't even know who the designer is that I'm working on this pattern from. It's called the Relax Tee. You can look her up.
Oh, yeah.
But she's actually a very petite, I believe she's a Asian descent woman. I may
Hmm.
be mixing that with somebody else. But she's a very petite woman. And yeah, she seems to be really great at bust darts. Talking to some folks about bust darts, her name came up over and over again. Not a random relaxed t-shirt. Ravelry. Amy Sure.
Sure. It was on the
Yes.
tip of my tongue. I knew it when you said relaxing.
Um, she may not be Asian, but the model is definitely of Asian descent. But yeah, she's a very petite looking woman. Although I think when you're that petite, if you have any kind of breast,
Yeah. Yeah.
it can be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why she's good at this. But yeah, so I'm giving it a try. Keep you
Nice. I'll have to
posted.
check it out. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. What are you currently reading or watching?
I am not a big reader. I know how to read, but I'm just not a big reader.
Thanks for
I am
clarifying.
I just want to make sure everyone's, we're good. Um, I am currently watching Poker Face on Peacock
Mhm.
with Natasha Lyonne and a whole slew of guest stars on every episode. She has this gift where she can tell when people are lying, and it starts in a casino, and she kind of used it for casino purposes, and now she's on the run, and every episode is a different situation where somebody gets murdered in her realm, and she kind of uses her lie detector skill to solve the murder. But it's very silly and clever, and well written and well acted. It's really interesting. I've watched it like 4 times, and I made my mom watch it this weekend, so it's good.
Nice.
Real good.
All right. Anything else to add?
I don't think so. This has been so fun.
Yeah, it was good to hang out with you.
Yeah.
When do I see you again?
I'm
Indy?
I'm vending at Indie with my yarn.
Woo.
Yeah, so I'll definitely see you at Indie.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Are you
DFW?
go? No, not this year. Are you doing Flock?
No.
Yeah, so yeah, Indy. But it'll be here before we know it.
Oh, I know.
So
I
soon.
know. I
Too
w
soon?
We were working on the calendar today, and I was like, we've got something coming up with Neutrino. We love the Neutrino girls. And I was just like, just not August. Like our August is slammed. We do not have an empty day on our dye schedule until the end of August.
Yeah,
And then
I
we got to start
believe
on
that.
DFW.
I start my big indie dye push tomorrow. Today's my last day of freedom, and I'm traveling a bunch. Like, I'm doing Flock in the beginning of August. I'll be in Sarasota for 2 weeks starting next week. But every day that I am home, basically, I have to be dyeing yarn. So nobody will see me for the next 3 months because I will be covered in dye and crying and sleeping when I'm not dyeing. But no, I love it. It's great. I'm excited.
I think that is one of the things that I don't think our customers really understand is just how physical dyeing yarn is.
It is so much physical work. It's a lot. I didn't expect it even when I started dyeing yarn. I was like, we have to do what? Like all of this? Every skein? Every time? It's a lot. It's a lot. But
And
it's
it,
really cool. It's science and magic coming together, and it makes this really cool feeling that like nothing can replace.
mhm.
I don't know, making colors that are like muted rainbows that just look blue from afar, but up close there's like pinks and greens. Like that's magic, man.
It is. It is. It's a lot of fun. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So, um, it's also fun on this side, teaching some of my staff how to dye yarn and seeing them fall in love with it and being like, I can do what?
Love it.
And then also, Dax has worked on a couple of projects, and um, seeing them try to accomplish something, but not quite knowing how to get there, but having a vision and just being like, oh, look at this recipe. It's very like it'll give you the technique you're looking for, which is it's a ton of fun. I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume it's what parenting is that people enjoy.
I wouldn't know, but I would
Me neither.
think you're on the right track.
Yeah, just seeing them discover it is just a lot of fun.
So
So,
cool. Yeah.
but yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a ton of physical labor. Is your studio air conditioned?
My studio is my parents' kitchen right now. So yes. Well, actually we turn off the air conditioner when I'm dyeing because I have to open all the windows and put fans in the windows and stuff. So no, it's not air conditioned while I'm working, but I'm kind of working on a solve for that. Maybe dyeing at night rather than during the day because it's slightly cooler is not even a word I would use. It's slightly less hot at night than it is during the day. So we're working on it, but I only have 2 burners right now. So it is not only is it very physical, but it's also very time consuming for me because I can't make a ton at a time. So it's an all day situation for me every time, every day.
I
But
remember
it's
those days. You remember those days. I remember when we got to be able to dye 3 things at a time. Kristen and I thought we had just like made magic. We could do
I
3 at a time. So yeah. And now I'm like, oh gosh, 3 was so much easier. But yeah.
love
All
it.
right. Well, we've gone off the rails here, but I'm excited to see what you've been dyeing up. I will for sure check that out while we're together at Indy.
Yay, I can't wait to see you. I'm so excited, as
Yeah,
always.
absolutely. All right, Casey. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. This was great.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's chat about what I am knitting and working on and some purchases. So I've got a couple of finished objects. I actually have 2. I have 2 works in progress works in progress. And then I've got a little bit of new yarn to bring in. After getting back from ZK, I've got some fresh things to add to the craft room upstairs that isn't here. So let's get started. The first thing I finished was actually something I don't think I had even worked on last time I recorded. We have kittens. You probably couldn't just hear them jump the gate and come down the stairs, but they are headed down. I don't know if I had even started this last time I recorded. Probably should go back and look at such things, but you know, it's not how things roll around here these days. So I am, you may remember, I discovered last year during football season that I do not have a matching set of accessories. So I made myself a hat, probably in like November, maybe even into January. I made myself a gray hat, the Musselburgh hat. And then I just needed something mindless. I needed a really easy project for the beach trip my husband and I took. And after H&H, so yeah, I probably talked about this in June. So yeah, I cast on the Sophie shawl. This is coming back to me now. Yes, I did record about this. And was having some issues with actually like counting properly. So this is actually the end. This is where you started. So yeah, like things got weird, but that's okay. It's a giant shawl. Well, it's not that giant. It's 2 skeins of Lada. It's going to be less than 2 skeins. It's not quite 2 skeins. You can see where I moved to the second skein. I don't care. It's going to, this is going to make me very hot. It is very warm here today. Yeah, this is how I'm going to wear it during football season with a jacket, or a vest or something. So yeah, I am happy to have this done. I finished this on the shuttle ride back to Minneapolis during ZK. So this is actually where I was before when we got to ZK, and I knit this whole bit. So it is done. Obviously need to weave in a couple of ends. It needs to be blocked, but it is July. It's 90 plus degrees out. I'm not concerned about that right now. But I did manage to finish my brother-in-law's Christmas socks. I had started these back in January. They have taken me, obviously, a good bit of time to work on, but they are done. I believe this yarn is actually Mint Rain. I don't believe she is dyeing anymore. This was a colorway that Kristen had actually purchased because the colorway name was Eagles. And nothing about this is Philadelphia Eagles colors, so we think it was mislabeled. It is very much Carolina Panthers colors, so those will be for Mark for Christmas. So those are my 2 finished objects. Yeah, I had those. When did I finish the socks? I finished those before we left for 4th of July. Maybe the day before that. And I needed a really simple project. I'm currently working on 2 sweaters. One I'm not going to show you. And we'll get to that in a second. But I needed something mindless for knitting while we were in Virginia. We were expecting some some boat time, some beverages, that kind of stuff. So I needed something really simple. So I actually wound up a skein. This this is not the first skein of 716 I have ever purchased. Actually, you're probably hearing all of this. Let me move this. Sorry. I do not believe this is the first skein of 716 I have ever purchased, but it is the first one I have met with. Ooh, I do have the tag. Look at me. So this is Jenna from the Knit Buffalo Yarn Truck. So she does lovely yarns and fun colors and ridiculous colorway names. So, yeah. So this is the first time I've ever knit with her yarn, while I have purchased it a couple of times at this point. So this is her 716 sock. It's an 80/20 merino nylon. It is 400 yards. It is a plump fingering. I am really liking it. I don't know this for sure, but I actually think it might be the same base that Lollipop used to use. That was her Gripes base, which I love. So I'm enjoying this. All right, so this is the colorway called Can I Trade in Children for More Cash, which is just super fun and colorful. I did ask Brian if he would wear these socks if I made these in his size. Otherwise, I was going to make myself some shorties. And he said he would. So I'm going to believe him and make these for him. They are just as bright and colorful as they're showing up. So, made some good progress on those, on the boat and driving and whatnot. So, all right. Other works in progress. So, I am currently doing a little bit of research and testing and I don't know what else to call it. I am interviewing possible new yarn bases. So one is pretty much a given. I am almost positive this is going to be something you will be able to purchase from us in the future. It is actually something you will for sure be able to purchase from us when Brenna and I are in New Jersey at Do You Knit in September. This base we are bringing with us. It is a base you will be very familiar with, but not quite. It is a fingering weight version of Lada. So I am currently working on, we have 3 samples underway using this yarn. Brenna is working on a test knit for Olga. I don't remember Olga's last name. She's the one that just put out the new book with Lane called Field Notes. So Brenna's working on a really bright, colorful colorwork sweater, which will be stunning. We have a test knitter or a sample maker making Lento, also from Lane magazine. And that will be absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to get that back. And then I cast on, that is the back, I cast on Woolen Honey by Andrea Mowry. I am enjoying the way it's working up. The honeycomb is actually really simple. I'm not going to give away any details. It's one of those patterns that looks so much harder than it actually is. I will say there are errors in this pattern. If you are strictly following the chart, good luck. You have got to read the chart and read the written instructions, particularly on the second chart, because she's got notes with absolutely wrong numbers. Like, I know the number was supposed to be 14 and she's telling me the number is 16. No way, it's 16. And then, yeah. So anyways, there are errors in the pattern. The other thing about this pattern that a lot of previous knitters have come to decide is the yoke on this thing is incredibly long. Like it's the bat wing, T-Rex wing kind of sweater, which I am not looking for. So enough people have made this sweater and modified it to actually have the sleeve separation in a location that is more custom, more traditional. So that's what I'm doing. I am knitting the second size, but I'm only going to do the increases for the smallest size. So I'm going to follow the increases for the second size until it gets to the number, and I don't know what the exact number is, until it gets to 400, which is what the finished increases are for the smallest size. The second size, it's maybe 450. But I'm going to stop early and then I'll do the sleeve separation. And then continue the chart the rest of the way after the sleeve separation. Potentially. We'll see where it falls before I decide to stop doing the chart. There were also a couple of comments for people who had done that about where the chart then falls on your body, and some of these things are happening like in your armpit. So it is a yoke. It's a round yoke, so your increases are evenly distributed. You do get a pretty pronounced seam up the back where you're alternating knits and purls because it is garter stitch. And so what I'm going to do is when I separate for the sleeves, I'm going to look at where those charts fall and get them out of my armpit by slightly rotating the pattern, the sweater this way or this way. So it is likely that my center seam won't be truly in the center. We'll see when we get there. I'm not really worried about it. I am also going to add bust darts. It is something I am trying with sweaters for myself these days, and yeah, this is gonna be one of those attempts. So this is, like I said, it is Lada in a fingering weight version. It'll be the same colors, and the skeins, I believe, are 450 yards. I don't have them memorized yet. This is brand new. So yeah, those are my works in progress. I do also have another sweater on the needles that is another yarn that that we will potentially launch. I have that, and then I distributed a bunch of skeins of actually two other yarns, two more summer influenced yarns to some friends at ZK. So I'm waiting to hear back from them on feedback about what they like or what they don't like between those two yarns. And the one I am using, that I am knitting, I'm working on the Relax Tee. I am enjoying it, but it will be a challenging yarn for the staff to dye. It'll take a lot of processing, very similar to Coleman, and yeah, I'm just really not looking to add another base that is extra work. Not at this time. So I'm looking for something that will be a little simpler and but also as enticing as Coleman. So yeah, it will most likely not be the one I am knitting with. So, yeah, I'm not going to show it. Yeah, and that's it. So that's it for works in progress. Knitting. Do have some purchases and prizes and whatnot from ZK. My mug, I got the red mug. It is up in the cabinet, may actually be in the dishwasher. And it is very much in use. So that was one part of the goodie bag. We also got these really great tote bags. So I'm excited about that. I have already used it a good bit. I got a random pair of needles in here that we don't need to talk about. Brenna was my roommate for ZK, and she actually filled this little pouch with some really nice gifts that she is currently enjoying. I have a long tradition of putting on eye masks while vending the morning before I vend because I generally don't sleep very well the night before. So there were some eye masks in here. There was a lip balm gloss in here that I'm really enjoying. And then there was a hand cream that I haven't touched yet, but I'm sure it's good. This is a little woven pouch from Salt Pixie Studio. And this is, I believe, one of the Craft Guild members' handiwork. I believe that is her shop. So that was my gift from Brenna. My goodie bag contained yarn from Treasure Goddess Yarn. It is a beautiful coppery color. I have no idea what I would make with this. It's sock yarn. It is 463 yards of sock yarn. It is beautiful. Who knows? It'll live in the stash. And if it doesn't get worked up, it will be rehomed. And then this was another gift. I have yarn that I dyed that I am planning to do a Christmas doodle sweater. So if you aren't familiar with the doodle decks, these are done by, her name's Jamie. What is her company name? I think it's Pacific Co Knits. That sounds right. And yeah, so she's got all these little fun charts. She released a sweater pattern last year with holiday stuff, and I am going to make myself a holiday sweater. So Jenny had seen this somewhere and picked that up for me. So thank you for that, Jenny. And then I did no shopping at the market. We were pretty busy in the booth and I didn't really have time. I did manage to make a lap at the end, but like I said, didn't pick anything up. But I did make a purchase from all 3 yarn trucks. So the first yarn truck that was there was our friends Katie and Dean of Yarn Adventure Truck. And I picked up a new pair of embroidery scissors. I have a pair of embroidery scissors that I think they're shaped like a swan, goose, something like that. I don't know where they are, but they were super sharp and I loved them. So I picked up a new set from Yarn Adventure Truck. Then I went over to the CCM Fibers yarn truck and saw the lovely ladies there. And this was their show color. What is it called? Say Cheese. Oh my gosh, perfect for Minnesota. Now it's all making sense. The orange, this doesn't want to focus. The orange and the blue just got me. I couldn't say no, but it is a lace weight yarn. It is 931 yards. And have I ever truly knit with lace? I have. I made a lace sweater. So I have knit with lace. But I don't want to do it again. So I was not going to let this color go. But I picked it up. And then in Jenna's truck, in the Yarn Buffalo truck, I found this. It is a fingering weight yarn. It's from Kelborn Woolens. It is their perennial base. And it is 40% superwash merino, 25%, is that 25? 25% suri alpaca, and 15% nylon. And it's showing up more gray here, but it is a beautiful dusty blue. And I'm going to hold these two together and make a muscle burrow hat. And then maybe a matching pair of mittens. I have no idea. This color just grabbed my heart and it had to come home with me. And those were my only purchases. That is what I brought home from ZK. There were several other things in the goodie bag. And yeah, ZK was overall a fantastic time, like it always is. We had a fantastic market. It was the first time I had successfully shipped and vended a booth. It went really smoothly. I thought the booth looked amazing. So yeah, I was really pleased with all of that. And that's it. That's all I got. So we do have a couple of upcoming things that I will talk about just briefly. There is a North Carolina Mountain to Sea yarn tour the entire month of July. There are yarn shops all across the state participating. And we are going to open the dye studio, office dye studio, for one day. As you may be able to tell or may know, this is my home. I live up those stairs. So we obviously live in a residential neighborhood. There's not a ton of parking. So we are potentially never going to do this again. But we're opening the dye studio for one day on July 19th. We will be open from 11 to 4. We will have a tent set up in the front yard with yarn to purchase. We'll have some yarn in here that you can purchase. And then Dax will be doing a little bit of dyeing in the studio as a little demo. Yeah, we hope you can join us. We do have RSVPs on our website. If you plan on coming, or if you are interested in coming, if you could just drop us a little note on that RSVP and give us some kind of indication of how many folks we can expect. I have a number in my head. We haven't yet got that many RSVPs. So, yeah, just to keep all of us comfortable with how many folks are going to be coming in to our home randomly that day. So, if you are coming, I do really want to emphasize, please be incredibly respectful of our neighbors. Park in marked parking spaces. Don't be parking or blocking anybody's driveways. Yes, let's not get me in trouble with the neighborhood association, please. So that's all I got. The third segment of the podcast this month, we will actually be recording this Saturday. We are doing a ice dyeing event with the Craft Guild, who Brenna happens to be the president of. So she will be here. Dax and Ryan will be here. No, sorry, that's the open house. Brenna will also be here for the ice dyeing. Brenna will be helping us with the open house as well. So yeah, it'll be a fun little event. It's sold out, it's closed. Really, really small event with the local guild. And so we will be recording some of that, to show you a little bit of ice dyeing and the process of how to do that. So that's all I have for this month. And, yeah. We will see you in August. We have lots of fun things happening in August and September. Yeah, so that's all I've got. I hope you have enjoyed a little look at what I'm working on. I hope you enjoyed my chat with Kacey. She was lovely. And there's plenty of Bloomridge kits. So if you're interested in doing some shopping, they're on the website. Bye. Beautiful. Gorgeous, right? This is also why we wash Coleman before the undyed Coleman, before you buy undyed Coleman. Because this actually doesn't smell. Coleman, we can't say the same. So yeah, everything needed to be washed first. Basically what that's doing is one, cleaning it, and helping to get us to a neutral pH. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to soak everything. Do you have the soap ash? Okay. So the directions for this are a little foggy. They're not exactly clear. So you want a cup. I'm going to tell you this part. You want roughly a cup to every 2 gallons of water. So can you give me like 2 cups? All right, somebody dump. We're gonna do 4. Start off with. Just hand this food to somebody. Somebody else stir. Have you ever seen Lord of the Rings? Yes. That's my Galadriel moment. Yeah. So chunks at the bottom. Think so or you don't? Okay. Who are 2 people with the yarn? A linen?
No. That's Christina.
Okay. You and I are going to have to do that slightly differently. So, all right. So I have a Reagan shirt. Throw her in. Throw her in. I have a Brenna shirt.
Into the soup.
Into the soup she goes.
It's soup time.
All right, who had a t-shirt? A white t-shirt? Which one was yours? In you go. All right, who did the raglan? All right, and then Kara's tank. And then who had the other t-shirt? Do we need more water?
Extra 40.
Yeah. Okay, and then these are just so you can easily find the middles. If I would have struggled with that. So I think we want to open these up.
Feel it. It's really fun though. I got 1,000 pounds of this from a lady who wanted to get rid of it.
Like for free?
Yeah, she just dumped them on me, and they were like covered in mildew, so I had to like they're in cones, so I had to steam them and bleach wash them and condition them.
I mean, at this point, you know you've committed.
Look, it's like $20,000 a year, and I can't not.
Yeah. All right, Dex, can you reach him? Can you reach the cone?
Like $10,000 with a 23 free limit. It's garnish. I love it. This is 100%
When we use our acid dyes to use on animal fibers, We do that with heat, and then so you bring it up to temperature, and then you lock in the dye by adding citric acid to it, which is this giant bucket and those 2 giant buckets. That's how we buy citric acid at this point. Buy the 5-gallon bucket. So that's how it works on our animal fibers. On the plant fibers, you do it the reverse. So what this is doing is essentially adding the glue to your garment. So what this is doing is it is neutralizing the pH, which means then your dye will stick to your garment. So yeah, so this needs 10 to 15 minutes, so we'll pull them out around 11.
All of our colors here are in little salt shakers. I can send you the link to what we ordered so that you can see what the colors, like swatches, look like from the website. But basically we have some like warm red and pink tones, and then some cooler blue tones, red and pink, and then the blue like what's on the taupe over there. So I did find that like the colors tend to look a little bit better if you give them a little more room to breathe, and don't like try to stack them on top of each other as much, if that makes sense. So like, because they'll do, it's called the split. So the colors, like as they start to soak into the garment, some of the like chemicals that make up that true one color will start to like split out and like kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like make their own, and not their own colors. Yeah, they break up. Yeah, it's a good way to describe it. So like if you give them like a little bit more room to do that, you might see more of that split. So yeah, that was just something that I found. The other thing that I like found, so Dax's tea, I did a like twist technique. So I sort of started in the middle and kind of spun it around on itself. The tote I just kind of scrunched up in both directions. So like from top to bottom and then side to side, just kind of scrunched it in. I did find that on the things like that, where they don't have like a special technique, that the bottom side tended to give more of those splotchy colored looks as opposed to the top side. So that's the back side. You can kind of see what I'm trying to out. It's a little more like splotchy. And then the front sort of gets more of an even color. Neither is right or wrong. It's just observations. Any questions about anything? I'm going to try to pull up the website and send that to everybody. Pull it up on my phone. You guys can take a look at it.
So the sprinkle, you literally just sprinkled it on. It wasn't just like later in, like what, did you put it on glass?
Yeah, so when I do the initial colors, you want it to like cover the ice like pretty well, and then the sprinkle was literally just like a little tap here, a little tap there. Anywhere that I looked, I was like, kind of have a little bit of clear space that's not covered with the other colors, and I just did like a little tap here and there. Like the tote in particular, I wasn't really sure like what techniques. I was just kind of putting color wherever, and like on this one, you can see I tried to be more intentional about where I put the colors so that it didn't overlap quite as much, so you could kind of really see the colors become a little more distinct. And then the Janice's tea, you did shirt ripples in both directions.
Yeah, so I kind of like created a wave side to side and then did the same thing, kind of scrunching it top to bottom.
How did you lay that one out?
I did the same thing,
Okay.
the scrunch top to bottom and then left to right. But then when I placed the color, like I said, I was a little more intentional about like the colors not overlapping and having
Right.
their own space.
Nice. It's really nice.
How did you do the color on this one?
That one I think was a lot like the tote, where I wasn't really sure, like, you know, the tote and the tees were like the first round, and so kind of seeing how they developed and turned out after, because you can see I've got like a lot of overlap on colors,
Yeah.
like here and up here, and not to say that that's like wrong or
wrong or right. It's just observations. So like this one, I definitely let the colors like overlap more. And this one, try to give them their own space.
You guys have we've talked a little bit now about like how you're going to put your garment on there, what you're going to do with it. So that is going to be your first thing. Figure out what you want to do with the garment, get it on there. You want it on the rack part as much as possible. So you're going to do that, and then once you do that, you're going to be ready to grab your bag of ice and start putting that on top. And then you can go ahead and start speckling. So we have, and I think Brenna probably covered this, we have 2 of every color. So we'll move that fan and then I'll stretch out the colors so you can come over and get whatever you want. So the whole thing with the animal fiber dyes is you need heat to react with them, which doesn't really work with ice.
Yeah.
So, you could do it. Your colors are just gonna fade very, very quickly.
Theoretically, if you did the ice dye, you got the dye into it after it melted and wrapped it and steamed it, maybe?
Yeah.
Just one of those. That's a lot of effort.
Yeah. So, and you can do this. This is a popular thing to do when it snows. Like you can use snow for this instead of ice. So yeah, you can do some snow dyeing. Whoever snows in Charlotte again. Possibly won't. All right. So let's try and
Does the soda actually dry your skin out?
yeah. So does the citric acid.
Ah.
Dax can probably peel their fingernails at this point. All right, this is Brenna's.
Just kind of squishing. Yeah. I don't want to make sure your body fits all of it.
So is there like any dyeing process in this? Yeah. Or do you use exclusively synthetics or?
For us, we only use acid dyes.
Oh, here's your phone number. I was literally the night before, like, I tried to finish it. What is it?
I feel like there's an Eastern European pastry that looks like this.
I'm sure there is.
Oh yeah. Somebody's 97-year-old babushka.
We're just gonna fill in a little bit here and just the there. Okay. Yep, and it's gonna bring you guys up to 5. It's easier to figure it out. What are you working on right now? The garment that I was supposed to make back there. Yeah. I have enough. Do you have enough? I don't know. I've never iced that. I know it's stressful. I think you're good. I feel like when you get when you start stressful, you suddenly realize how much more stuff.
A lot like boxer shirt. I use this spiral, like, French technique. And I'm, trying to replicate that.
Cool.
How that turned out.
Cool.
I don't know how much dye to use.
It looks like a lot of ice.
And if you do it like sideways, yes, exactly.
That's the call out.
I think so.
Cool.
Very nice.
Oh, I like that a lot too.
Yeah, that's gonna look so cool.
So I'm Brenna. I'm the president of Crop CLT. That's the Charlotte Region Arts, Fiber, and Textiles Guild here in Charlotte. We're a local guild that likes to promote different fiber arts. We do a lot of outreach and education related to that. We're here today with Janice from Queen City Yarn. She is hosting our Ice Dye Day for the Guild. This is a Guild member-only event. We love putting on Guild member events in collaboration with our business partners and business members of the Guild to help promote them. And we get to do cool little events like this that are special for members of the Guild. Probably over 100 at this point.
Whoa.
That doesn't mean everybody's like an active member.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
we have a core group that are consistently coming to our meetings every week at Petty Thieves, where we host a crafting circle called Stitch and Bitch. We're there every Wednesday starting around 6:30, and all portable skills are welcome there. And then we have our member meetings the fourth Thursday of every month, and where we go over Guild business, and then we also offer an educational component to that as well. But yeah, we're so happy and thrilled to be here with Janice today, and we love our business members and are happy that we get to do things like this with them.